The Perfect Sleep Guide. Herein we will cover all the essentials so you can have more deeper sleep, feel more well rested, and of course have the ideal sleep for your testosterone levels. We are going to cover the importance of sleep, so what sleep actually does to our physiology. We're going to go through the sleep cycles, so understanding these cycles will help you schedule the perfect sleep routine. We're going through the sleep chemicals, so not only melatonin, but also other sleep chemicals have a role in the quality of our sleep. And then we're gonna improve that quality naturally. Also, we finish with solving the most common sleep disorders like mouth breathing and sleep apnea. So if you have one of those, we're gonna solve that in the final section. And then we going through some action steps, so necessary action steps so you can have more clarity on what to take uh, action on, which changes you can implement to better your overall sleep. So to begin with, why is sleep so important? Well, first and foremost, sleep is our number one longevity pill. So many studies have shown that people who slept the most and had the best quality of sleep were basically disease proof in older age. So if you want to age gracefully, if you want to age healthily, you will have to prioritize sleep, all right? Sleep also caused in young adults bigger gonads, which means also more testosterone production. And from my experience, more testosterone also gives like better sleep, so it's kind of vice versa. This is because sleep is, of course, restorative, anti stress, and the more sleep deprived we are, the more reactive oxygen species, the more inflammation happens in our body, which atrophies glands like the gonads. Healthier gut, so with sleep we with better sleep, with healthy sleep, we get a tight junctions in the gut lining, so we don't get that leakiness. And it's also shown that the more sleep deprived we become, the more leakiness the gut will be, and which is why I believe we get these insane cravings if we get sleep deprived. So if someone is sleep deprived, there are way more cravings for junk food, for alcohol, for basic addictive substances. When we sleep good, we have higher tolerance to stress and we have also a more faster metabolic rate. And all of this ties down to better immune function overall. So, this is why sleep is so important, of course, with many other benefits like the neurochemistry, the neurotransmitters that are built at night. We need to rest our brain, clean our brain so we can rebuild it and feel driven, motivated, and sharp throughout the day. The next section are the sleep cycles. So, this is kind of important. I don't believe in chronotypes, so the specific types of people with specific sleeping patterns. What I do believe in is that we have to get as much melatonin exposure as possible. So, melatonin is one of our main antioxidants at night that cleanses the nervous system. And melatonin peaks at around 12 and 1 a.m., so really midnight. So, if we sleep before midnight, many hours before midnight, for instance, we go to bed at 8:30 or at 9, we get at least 3.5 to 3 hours prior the peak of melatonin. This means that we get more exposure to melatonin, all right? And if we skip that first or the first initial sleep cycles, we also skip on that burst in melatonin. So melatonin starts rising in the evening, but if we neglect that rise and we go later to bed, let's say at 11 or at midnight, we don't benefit what melatonin has to offer, okay? Because after midnight, the melatonin starts to go down. And of course, if we wake or stay awake until midnight and we are exposed to blue light, to EMFs, then melatonin will also naturally go down. So there are 5 cycles, and each cycle is about 90 minutes. So the ideal sleep would be 7.5 hours. Of course, if you're an athlete or you're in the gym every day, you might need one more cycle. So instead of 7.5 hours, you'll need 9 hours of sleep. What happens when you skip the first cycle? Then you skip basically on the initial release of melatonin and of all the benefits that melatonin has to offer you. Will it be better or will it be helpful to sleep any longer? No, because at the time that we wake up in the morning, there is practically no melatonin at all. So we want to benefit melatonin prior midnight, which is why it is better to go earlier to bed instead of sleeping longer. And this all ties into building a sleep routine for yourself and using these cycles. So you can calculate for yourself. For instance, we need 8 hours of sleep. Let's say we need half an hour to fall asleep. So 8 hours in total regarding the sleep cycles. So with these 8 hours, you can basically navigate, make your own sleep routine and set solid hours for yourself to go to bed and then to wake up. The sleep chemicals, it's not all about melatonin. So, melatonin is actually the main free radical scavenger, the main antioxidant that we produce at night. And it has all these crazy benefits. It's anti inflammatory, it protects the blood brain barrier, it basically cleanses the nervous system at night. It is also the hormone of darkness, as some people call it, and it regulates the circadian rhythm and therefore also sleep. But it's not the only sleep chemical. We also have adenosine, which is a byproduct of energy metabolism. So, adenosine is an endogenous sleep regulatory substance and it binds to its receptor, and this makes us feel sleepy. However, if we drink coffee, for instance, the caffeine binds on that receptor, which is why we stay awake because it blocks adenosine of making us tired. And then we have also, of course, GABA. So, GABA is a neurotransmitter and it acts as a brake of our nervous system. So, if we are too excited, GABA is basically calming our nervous system down. So, if we have insomnia or something, it's due to a GABA deficiency, which we can correct through the right lifestyle, like doing stretches, yoga, breathing, by diet, nutrition, especially seafood, and also by supplementation. So, here are a few examples that lower the sleep chemicals. We have fluoride, which is really toxic to the thyroid gland and the pituitary pineal gland inside the brain. And fluoride lowers melatonin. Stress and cortisol as well. All of these lower the melatonin, the GABA, etc. Artificial light and EMF exposure are also shown to reduce our sleep chemicals. Short-term fasting, so any kind of fasting will put us more in a stress state, and that can drop melatonin levels by 20%. All kinds of deficiencies, because we need minerals and vitamins to build neurotransmitters, and of course, caffeine intake. I would suggest to quit all caffeine intake for an extended period of time.